Hello, all, and welcome to Astro Wheel of Fortune. My name is Vlada, and I read tarot. And today I'm doing a reading on your June predictions, your June forecast. We have four groups as always. I have some oracle cards pre-shuffled, but I'm going to be pulling tarot separately live, on camera. So the way that I do this, if you have been watching me for a while, I do the general vibe for the month, then we look into tarot and we look into the physical material world, and how that's going to go for the month. Things like finance, career, physical attributes. Then we go into the emotional energy, relationships, whether they be platonic or romantic. And then we look into spiritual and self development. But that's all. I have group one, group two, group three, and group four. If you want to pause the video and see which one is pulling your attention the most, you can do so now. And we're going to get started. So I'm going to put these aside. And we're going to get started with group number one. So let's see, group number one, what's coming up for June for you. So let's first get started with your oracle cards and see what they say. So we've got spaceship, don't be afraid to sing. We've also got lunar eclipse, change, ground and center. Actually, the lunar eclipse that just passed recently, so it would have happened on the 16th of May, lunar eclipse in Scorpio, could have set off something for you that's going to happen in June. So maybe you noticed whatever themes maybe you noticed, whatever topics that popped up for you around that date, around the 16th of May, may be important and coming to life in some sort of way in June. So we've got ground and center. We've got productivity as well. And we have cold lands. Learn how to keep yourself warm, abandonment, challenges, and aloofness. Your June is going to be an opportunity for you to learn how to be self-sustaining, and how to be very brave in your self-expression and how you show up in the world. And the theme of which you're going to be dwelling in around that completely depends on the themes that maybe you noticed around the lunar eclipse in Scorpio in May. I think June is going to give you opportunities to really ground and be very productive in some sort of way as well. There's a lot of this feeling of productivity and gaining results. So anything you start in June, I feel like your guides are basically saying it will yield results. Anything that you start, anything you decide to take on, you can be like assured that results will follow. So I feel like whatever you're planting in June, some of those things may even have results that are almost instantaneous. That's what I'm getting. Also, I'm noticing, look, it says 4343. So for some of you, maybe look up that angel number, 4343. That could be an important number that has a message for you. Also, 4 and 3 is 7, and 7 is making me think of July, and then we've got 8 here as well, August. So maybe whatever you plant in June is going to have very quick results, as in July and August is as quickly or as soon as you're getting those results to come through and show themselves. But I feel like your guides want you to be as productive as possible in June. Put as much productive energy out there in order to achieve best results. So let's look at your practical, because I do feel like it's going to be a very practical month for you. That's what I'm feeling. I feel like being practical with your actions and investing a lot of energy into very practical scenarios, like things like are that are physically quite tangible, can really be quite rewarding for you. But I do feel like you will have to really be quite independent with it. It's not that you shouldn't ask for help, because if we feel like we need help, we always have to ask for help. We should ask for help. But I do feel like your guides want you to be very independent, like making decisions on your own around how you want to invest into these projects. Some of you may have a project that you really want to put out into the world, and maybe that's what you're focusing on. Look, the practical energy is represented here by the Six of Wands for you. This is a victory energy. It's the energy of feeling like you've accomplished something. This is a very accomplished energy. So not only is it that you are putting in productive energy into something, I also feel like you may actually find something paying off in June as well. And maybe because that pays off, you have more confidence and courage to invest into something else. I am seeing success for you in June. So whether it's success that it feels like either success from something that you've invested into in the past, or something you invest into in June and it almost has immediate results in some sort of way. Maybe both. For some of you, it could be both. But I am seeing immediate success in your practical environment. You could be getting a raise. For some of you, that could be, or a bonus or a raise. Some of you could be getting some sort of promotion in your career. Now, if you work for yourself, maybe it is like your overall status or your overall energy is being promoted in your field, in your career. A lot of you have the potential to become more recognized or more well known in your career as well, or in your job. So, being visible is going to be very easy for you in the month of June. You know, if you work with social media or anything like that, you may even increase your following. Um, get more interactions on like your website or something like that. That's also coming through. I do feel things paying off for you. It's really nice. This is really nice energy because it feels very deserved, if that makes sense. It's like you deserve this, you deserve whatever this. But one thing that I will say with the don't be afraid to sing, there's something here. Some of you might actually be singers and maybe you're getting noticed in some sort of way for that. But I do feel like with the Six of Wands, don't try to hide when this visibility becomes available to you. Some of you need to be aware of that. Don't try to run away from being visible or being seen and acknowledged. I'm also getting accept compliments. I feel like there's a really big emphasis on needing to know how to accept and integrate compliments into your being. So, you know, especially for a lot of you also on your physical appearance, I feel like you'll be getting a lot of compliments on your physical appearance, and you may feel this temptation to deflect them. And it seems like it's really important that you don't, that you integrate those compliments and really accept them and enjoy the compliment that is given to you. We've also got Libra, consideration, fairness, and harmony. Your physical energy. So I do feel like as Libra energy is, it's ruled by Venus, and there's a lot of like beautiful, it's very beauty oriented, right? So a lot of you are looking really good. Your physical appearance is very pleasing to a lot of people, and a lot of people want to let you know and communicate this because Libra is an air sign, and air energy is very communicative. So I do feel like, and Libra energy likes compliments. And then the Six of Wands is very, it's Leo energy, it's Leo season. So to me, Leos are also very compliment oriented. So I feel like you're going to be getting a lot of compliments. It could be for your career as well. It could be for, you know, for your work, the work that you're doing. But I do feel like you're going to be getting compliments on your physical appearance. And there is going to be this feeling of, oh, I kind of want to deflect. I want to maybe make a little sarcastic comment about it, or you know, make a self-deprecating joke or something like that. And your guides are saying integrate it, absorb that compliment, take that compliment. It's really important that you learn how to take compliments with a lot of grace and a lot of humility, but humility without needing to be self-deprecating. It's like you can be humble about taking a compliment without needing to put yourself down. And I feel like that's something that you're learning in the month of June. And this could be connected to your like job as well. So maybe getting compliments for your work and stuff like that. Um, really enjoy it. Bask in that feeling of being appreciated. Some of you might be getting compliments for your voice because I can't help but look at this. Don't be afraid to sing. So maybe I definitely feel like there's a lot of emphasis on you being beautiful and talented. And your guides want you to really enjoy all these compliments that are coming your way. They're really important for your like progress, for your ev- evolution even. I'm getting. This is going to be a nice month. I can feel it for this group. This is going to be a really nice month. And the most important thing is that you don't try and resist it, that you don't try and avoid it almost because you feel like you're not deserving or something like that. You may feel almost like you're not deserving of these compliments and appreciation that you're getting, but you are. You are very deserving of whatever is coming your way here. I almost feel like with this Cold Lands group, card, it's almost like you've learned to keep yourself warm. You've learned to give yourself praise and appropriate recognition. That now that you've learned how to recognize yourself in a very authentic manner, other people know how to do that for you as well. Other people know how to compliment you in that kind of way as well. Okay, let's look at your relationships and emotional connections, emotional energy in the month of June. I'm really smelling incense all of a sudden, and I don't have any incense burning right now, so I don't know why I'm getting. So maybe you need to cleanse your space in terms of relationships. We've got the Page of Pentacles and the Knight of Wands in reverse. Page of Pentacles makes me think of communication. Someone could one thing that I'm picking up on is someone might reach out to you, but it's almost like impulsive or premature, and this might be very random, but I'm getting a drunk call or a drunk text. You might receive like a drunk call or a drunk text of someone in June. This is very random though. I know it's not going to be for everyone, but for some of you I feel like there might, and this might be a significant one because like obviously we wouldn't be getting it here as like a marker for your relationships if it wasn't a significant one. So for some of you, there could be a significant text that is, or phone call that comes very impulsively. Like it's not planned by the person that comes through with it. I do feel like it's going to be someone else reaching out to you rather than you reaching out in this manner. It's not pre-planned. It's something that you can't predict. It's something that's just going to come in. It might feel very random to you, that like it might be like this person really, like there might be that kind of energy to it, because I feel like whoever maybe came to your mind first as I said this may not actually be the person that does it, if that makes sense. It might be a person that you are almost would only half expect to do it or don't expect to do it at all. So there's this element of surprise here, but I'm seeing good conversations at the same time. I'm just seeing a lot of people may feel impulsive towards you. And you know what? That makes sense because you're looking really good. You're feeling really good. You're coming off as very, very attractive in the month of June. You may really notice how attractive like you feel and the energy around you seems to be. You're vibrating at a very I don't really like saying vibrating at like a vibration or anything like that, but that because I'm getting like a buzzing sound. So there's something like there's very buzzing kind of energy of beauty around you. I'm also getting a bee. So like like queen bee, like the queen of the bee's nest. There's a lot because like everyone fights for the queen bee's attention, right? So that's the energy that you're giving in this reading. Bees might be important in terms of symbolism for June for you, but I'm getting a lot of queen bee energy around you. So a lot of people are feeling like they want to impulsively rush in. For a lot of you, like especially if you're single, I'm seeing a lot of people wanting to date you and wanting to connect with you in that kind of, I do feel more of a sexual energy, but for like there might be secondary emotional energy underneath, but a lot of people are just like feeling very physically and energetically attracted to you, and maybe not thinking thoroughly about the more emotional side of things. I also feel like you're gonna learn a lot of new information about certain potential romantic partners. If you are in a relationship, you could learn a lot about your current romantic partner because of something impulsive that they do. And I don't think it's going to be like a negative thing necessarily. It's just like you may look at your partner from a different perspective and kind of go like, "Oh, like that was very impulsive of them to do that. I never would have put them down as someone who would do something like this." I'm also seeing that you, if you are in a relationship or not in a relationship, but if you are interested in being physically intimate with people, um, there's a high chance of that happening in the month of June. Like, being very physically active with partners, like sexual partners. That is definitely possible. Um, I think you're gonna be kind of like it. You're gonna be kind of what's the? I don't know what the word is that I'm trying to think of. You'll be kind of entertained by people in the month of June. There's like a sense of I'm entertained by this person trying to pursue me. I'm entertained by this person like reaching out to me in a very impulsive manner. I'm entertained by my partner doing these like impulsive things, but they're not necessarily bad things. They're just things I didn't expect them to do. So there is a feeling like I'm entertained by the people in my life. There's a mischievous kind of energy to you at the same time. So I feel like you're kind of enjoying, even if there is a little bit of chaos in your relationships or like dating life, you're kind of enjoying it. So that's interesting. Let's pull an astrology card for your relationships. North Node. Interesting. So you're moving towards a new approach to your relationships. Again, I feel like maybe because your partner does something impulsive, you see your relationship in a new way. Maybe I also feel like maybe you're going to be exploring different types of people that you date. I'm sorry, I do feel like I'm very focused on the romantic side of things for this group, or more so even sexual. But I feel like that's where, because the king or the Knight of Wands in reverse can talk about very sexual energy. So I do feel like for a lot of you, it's going to be like a highly sexual, physically intimate month. But I also feel like you're moving towards the kind of relationships that you were always meant to move towards. So maybe you're transcending some sort of convention when it comes to your relationships. Maybe you always went for a certain type of person, for a certain type of partner or something like that, and you're really pushing the boundaries of the type of person that you go for. And you're amusing even maybe yourself with the type of people that you're starting to date or see or interact with. Um, I'm also seeing, just for some of you, if you don't want to conceive a child, because we've got productivity and pumpkins can talk about fertility as well. I am seeing a lot of fertile energy here, so just make sure that you are careful. If you are looking to conceive in the month of June, I'm seeing really good energy for that. Okay, let's move forward into your spiritual and self development and see what's coming up. So, spiritual and self development for group one. We've got King of Wands in reverse. I think something about, because I'm kind of getting my way or the highway. I think something about that energy in you is going to be challenged. And I'm not getting my way or the highway with other people, not necessarily. What I'm getting is more like maybe you've always wanted to live your life a certain way, and your ego felt very safe in living your life in a certain way. And I think in June, you're going to start noticing that no matter how hard you try to fight the natural flow of life, you can't. And because I'm kind of getting my way or the highway, not with other people, but with like your spirit guides or your spirit team almost. So the feeling is connected to surrendering to the universe, but not like, in a way where you maybe always wanted to be the kind of person that just like doesn't accept compliments or doesn't really vibe with compliments and stays away, from tries to self-deprecate when a compliment is paid to them, and like all of a sudden you're noticing yourself become like very accepting and graciously accepting compliments, and noticing yourself like basking in the glory of compliments. And maybe you would have thought that a person like that would be conceited in the past or something like that, and all of a sudden you are that person, but you're enjoying it and you're noticing like, oh, that doesn't necessarily mean that I'm conceited. It could just mean that I'm enjoying the glory that I'm being given. Again, maybe you are dating people that you usually wouldn't have dated because you said, no, I'm only dating this type of person. I will never date someone like this. Or, someone outside of my type, or outside of the kind of person that I perceive for myself. And all of a sudden you're noticing yourself actually going and dating people that are nothing like the type of people that you used to date before. There's almost a you're being challenged out of the safety of your ego. You're being challenged out of we're not talking about ego from a perspective of like I'm selfish or self-serving here. We're talking about ego more so from the perspective of I feel safe in this specific kind of lifestyle, or not being visible. Maybe, again, we have this visibility that's coming your way in June that maybe kind of scares you a little bit. Yeah, you're transforming that. You're transforming this feeling of, because the King of Wands, when he's in reverse, he can be someone who wants to be visible, wants to be seen, wants to be social, wants to be praised. But instead of embracing that and following that path, he hides away from leadership, hides away from visibility, and also begrudges others who have the confidence to be visible. And I think you're tackling this kind of King of Wands in reverse energy within yourself, where you are saying to yourself, well, I clearly do want to be visible. I clearly do want to be seen for my talents and all the amazing things that I can do. So maybe it's time for me to just fucking because I'm sorry about this, but what I'm hearing is like, maybe it's time for me to stop being such a pussy about it. That's what I'm hearing. So for some of you, maybe that'll resonate. So maybe you're kind of calling yourself out a little bit, but you're doing it in a very kind of nice way, because we've got a lot of grounding energy here. So you're not doing it in a, again, like maybe you are a little bit self-deprecating with yourself sometimes, but you're almost self-deprecating yourself into stop being self-deprecating. It's like you're challenge you're kind of the imagery that I'm getting as well is that you're calling yourself out to a duel. You're kind of like, there's one version of you that is calling the other version out to a duel and kind of saying like, come on, I'm gonna fight you, or I'm gonna not necessarily fight you, but I'm going to challenge you. And I'm going to show you that this way is better than staying in this like safe space of the ego. That's what I'm getting. And I feel like it's only going to get better as you progress into the summer, because we've got the June energy. It's only the beginning. That's the feeling that I'm getting. It's only the beginning of this kind of intense transformation, but I also think it's not a scary transformation. You're going to be supported in this transformation. I feel like you're going to be entertained. The feeling of being entertained is very strong here. So even when things get a little bit uncomfortable in this transformation, at least they're going to be entertaining. I wonder if you have like strong Gemini. Also Leo. I think Leos like to be entertained. And Libras, yeah, Leo. I'm getting Gemini, Leo, and Libra energy very strongly. So you might have like a stellium in one of those signs, or because the feeling that I'm getting is like, it's good for the story. It's good for the story arc of my character. You know, it's like this might be an uncomfortable transformation, but it's a very interesting story. It'll be an interesting story to tell in the future. Like that's the kind of feeling that I'm getting. You're not really spooked by this transformation because this transformation is providing you some sort of substance in terms of entertainment, which is really cool and interesting. You're gonna feel like an interesting person in June as well. That's something that I'm getting. So I'm not saying it's gonna be a simple month. Probably the opposite. It's probably gonna be a month that is gonna have a lot of complexities, but it's gonna be a month that is entertaining, and you're gonna feel like you have a lot to offer in terms of being an interesting person, person with a lot of depth and a lot of like evolution qualities, I suppose. Like you're evolving in some sort of way. So that's what I have for you, group number one. So I'm going to move forward. That was really cool. I really enjoyed doing your reading. If you'd like to do like, subscribe and comment, especially with your feedback, I'd love to hear how you resonate with that, but we're going to move on. So let's move forward to group number two, and let's see, how is your June going to be? Let's look at your general cards first, and then we'll get into the more specific energies. So we've got morning, the world awaits you. We've got Pisces energy, and we've got all these fish here as well. So Pisces energy is strong here. So some of you could be Pisces or have Pisces predominantly in your chart in some sort of way. We've got meditation for clarity, attraction, and we've got halfway point, meet in the middle, compromise, common ground, and reconciliation. I am getting reconciliation vibes here for sure. So for some of you, you could be reconciling with someone. Now, not necessarily romantic. We'll see further into that, but it doesn't necessarily have to be romantic. But I feel like you're either reconciling or you're reconciling differences with someone. So you may not necessarily come back together with someone, but there's a lot of forgiveness and understanding and compassion towards each other. This is a very peaceful energy. Like I'm getting very serene vibes for your June. I'm also getting like you may be able to catch up on sleep. So maybe you've been having broken up sleep patterns or something like that, because I'm getting a lot of tranquility here. The word tranquility keeps coming up. So I do feel like some of you may actually get to catch up on sleep. Some of you may get to like I'm getting a slow paced month. So I don't think you're going to be rushing through the month, or you're not going to be pushed to make decisions very quickly. But what I do feel is that you're going to come to terms with certain things that hurt you in the past on your own time, though. And maybe specifically with one person here. So some of you could actually like reconcile with this person and re-enter your friendship or relationship with this person. And some of you could just have a really nice conversation with this person where you understand each other's point of view and forgive each other in some sort of way. Or maybe you forgive this person if, you know, they don't really have anything to forgive. But the energy is very calm, peaceful. It's very spiritual as well. I think there's a lot of meditation vibes that I'm picking up on. So it kind of makes me feel like maybe you're gonna enter a new like meditation practice or something like that. Maybe you're gonna start meditating more in the month of June. You could, because I'm kind of getting meditating so that you can control your mind better, so that you can attract better things into your life. Like I feel like you're really getting down to maybe realizing that, like, okay, in order for me to manifest something that I really, really want, I need to really get my mind under control. And how do I do that? I meditate for like, 10 to 20 minutes a day at least, or maybe more. You're getting very serious about not only your mind from like mental health perspective, like, oh, I need to make sure I'm looking after my mental health and I'm doing things like mindfulness and I'm journaling, but also about your subconscious mind. And, maybe it might even be like some of you might not be really good sleep sleepers, or you may be someone who gets distracted with your sleep pattern a lot. And so you're saying to yourself, that's it, I'm going to make myself figure out how to sleep better, how to connect to my subconscious better, make sure that I do get like the full 8 or 9 hours of sleep every day or something like that. I feel like that's a really important. And maybe some of you want to start, because I'm getting this energy of early morning here, because I don't know, this kind of feels like a sunrise in this water. And then she's waking up here in the morning. And I don't know, I'm just getting like early morning vibes. Like some of you may want to like wake up before sunrise or something like that. And that could be like a really important element for you. I think you're going to achieve that if that's something. I know it's a bit specific, but for some of you, you want to wake up earlier than what you've been doing. It's kind of like you have simple goals in the month of June. Wake up earlier, sleep better, meditate more, forgive whoever I feel like I want to forgive now, and move on with my life. It's a very simple state that you're in. You don't want much. You're not looking for like huge amounts of money, even though like obviously that's always nice, right? Or whatever. But you're in a state of, let me just sort out these like very simple things about my life first. So that's your June. So the overall energy. So let's look at, I think simultaneously, just one thing before I go into the practical side. Simultaneously, although you're sorting these very simple things about your life, like sleep pattern, sleep schedule, meditation, spiritual awareness, forgiveness, it's actually creating a huge effect in your life. That's probably attracting really beautiful things. So let's get into the practical side of things. The physical, career, money, finances, your practical and physical life. So we've got the Lover's card. The Lover's card, I do see the Lover's card as the opportunity card a lot of the time. So some of you really are attracting some physical opportunities. And we've got attraction here. The Lovers represent attraction. It's not just about attraction in the sense of like I'm attracted to this person's body or this person's personality. It's also about attracting things to you because you're an attractive person, and not just from a point of view of being an attractive person like, oh, I'm really hot, but also being an attractive person with your whole being and energy. So with the Lover's card, I do feel like you are attracting a lot of opportunities your way. From a practical sense, it's because you're sorting out these very basic things, I suspect. The Lover's card also talks about desire. So the very basic things that we desire, the very basic things that we want, and being very aware of our desires. One thing that I'm getting, this is a very interesting message for some of you. In June, take note of the desires that are popping up for you. Take note of the things that you are looking at, like whether it be a top in a shop, or, a pair of trousers in a shop, or a dress in a shop, and going, I really want that. And maybe you can't afford it yet, or maybe you can't obtain it yet for whatever reason, but making note of those things. Like, again, maybe you see a car driving by and you're like, someday I would really love a car like that. Writing those desires down. It doesn't only have to be practical and physical desire, but I feel like the emphasis is on the practical desires. Maybe you notice someone doing something like career-wise that you're saying to yourself, you know what, someday I'd really like to do that, or I'd like to start finding a way to move myself in that direction. Really take note of your desires in the month of June, because I feel like they're very important in terms of where you're bringing yourself in life. I do see opportunities being attracted to you like a magnet. You are like a magnet for like practical opportunities and solutions in the month of June. So really take advantage of that. And it's interesting because the reason you're this magnet is because you are focusing on the most simple things, and you are putting yourself into a state where you're saying to yourself, well, let me just focus on the things that I can control. Let me just focus on the things that are not overly difficult for me to control and to resolve. and we'll see how it goes. We'll see where it takes us. Also, I noticed when I looked up on at the timestamp, it said 3434, and I'm just noticing it says 34 here as well. So the number 34 might be really important. Maybe look up the angel number 34 as well. 34, that's also 3 and 4 adds up to July. So maybe all of these things that you're attracting are really going to be paying off in July. There's some similar energy between you and group one. If you were attracted to group one, maybe go watch it, but only if you were. If you weren't, just scratch that. Don't worry about it. If you were attracted to group one, I would say watch it, because we got the Libra card in exactly the same position for group one as well. So you're very I have to say, very similar to group one, but I feel like group one was a little bit more you're a little bit more peaceful. Group two, group one had a little bit more of edgy vibe, I guess. And not to say that you're not edgy, you know, if you want to be that way, whatever, but I feel like it's not, you're not really interested in being edgy. Not that group one wanted to be edgy or anything like that. There's just a little bit more of an edge to group one, because I don't know why, you feel a lot more serene and tranquil. So it's almost like maybe you're a lot more ready to receive. It's almost like you and group one are receiving very similar things in June, but you are a lot more ready to receive these things in June, whereas group one may need a little bit more work and a little bit more acceptance to receive. It's interesting because they're almost, the energy feels, it's, the aspects of this reading feel identical. The details of this reading feel identical, but the energy, the vibe of the reading feels different. Yours is very peaceful, tranquil, forgiving, whereas group one's was a lot more edgy. I don't know why the only word I can think of is edgy. Yours might be on a little bit of a lower scale than group one's as well, because again, if you're attracted to group one, take both, but yours might be a little bit on a lower scale. And I'm sorry to keep referring to group one, but I feel like that's the way I'm supposed to read right now. Group one's was like visibility and them being noticed by a lot of people, whereas you're going to be noticed only by the opportunities or the people that you're truly meant to be noticed by. So group one may need to sift through more people and may need to be a little bit more discerning. I wish I could go back to group one and tell them to watch this group as well. there seems to be such a strong connection between the two. But this kind of feels like you're the group where you won't need to discern as much. You just need to make a decision to say, yes, this is a perfect opportunity for me. Let me take it. I was also talking about compliments and receiving a lot of compliments in group one, and I think there's also that coming through for you. You're going to be receiving a lot of compliments for your attractive qualities. Again, that can be physical attributes, that can be your work ethic, that can be anything really. But you are a lot more accepting of these compliments than group one was. It feels like you're you find it easy to accept these compliments and integrate them, which is really, really nice. Your energy overall is going to be very pleasant, and I think a lot of people are going to be interested in you. But the thing is, I feel like the people that are going to come forward to let you know that they're interested in you are going to be the right people, are going to be the people that are aligned with you. You're not going to get these like random people who are attracted to you but maybe are not good for you coming through. I feel like you're aligned group two. You're in a really good place in June. So I'm excited for you. Like really good messages coming through so far for the both of the groups that I've done so far. So this is really, really cool. So let's look at your relationship or relationships, platonic, romantic. Oh, maybe that's the difference. Maybe that's the difference. There was a little bit more dating energy for group one, dating, flirting, people kind of like impulsively reaching out to group one. With you, I think your energy, whether you're in a relationship or not, you're not really looking. Maybe that's the difference. It kind of felt like maybe group one was looking for a relationship. Even if you are looking for a relationship, you're also in a state where you're like, yes, I'm looking for a connection or a relationship, but I'm only looking for someone who absolutely like is absolutely aligned with me, absolutely matches what I want, even if it's idealistic. Look at all the Pisces energy we've got here. Pisces is kind of always uh criticized for being very idealistic. But the thing about Pisces at the same time is like a lot of the time, these idealistic things that Pisces energy looks for, they get it. So I do feel like you're basically saying, yes, I'm looking for someone, but I have high standards here. You may notice your standards really rise in June, and I feel it like it doesn't only have to be to do with romantic relationships. I feel like in terms of friendship as well, you're not going to make friends with people who don't meet your high standard. You have very high standards for your relationships, for your connections. A lot of people in your life may notice that you remove your energy or you detach in some sort of way because you are increasing your standards. You're increasing what you want from a good friend or a partner or a family member that you feel loves you and connects to you. um but I'm getting again, meditative energy is very strong here, so you may actually not spend that much time around people. But and even if you are spending time around people, you are not you're kind of showing up as someone who is happy on their own and is good by themselves. So the thing is, again, this is the contrast between you and group one, whereas group one was kind of showing up as getting a lot of offers and getting a lot of people coming forward and wanting to speak to them and wanting to connect to them. You are showing up as someone who has a lot of people attracted to you. You may even receive a lot of compliments, but I think very few will have the guts to come forward because your energy is so like, I'm good on my own. I'm happy. I'm good. I don't need anybody. And we've got 10th house, structure, discipline, life mission, accomplishments, and career. But 10th house can also talk about where we're visible to the world or where we're visible to the outside community. So, because it can be the house of fame. 11th house could be that as well, but I do sometimes see the 10th house because it's the house of reputation. So you may even have a reputation of someone who is hard to get. There's something like that I'm picking up on in June. It's like, I'm kind of getting someone being like, oh, you're attracted to group two, don't bother, they're not looking for anything. Like, I'm almost getting that. So, oh, you want to date group two, well, good luck, because you know they're looking for someone amazing, and they're so idealistic about who they want. But it's not just about the relationships, like romantic relationships. I definitely feel like there's gonna be like even people who might try to be your friend, and while you're going to be very pleasant and nice to them and polite, not rude or anything like that, you're also going to be kind of removed from them because you're only interested in a friendship that really fulfills you to the fullest. Because Pisces energy is also very wise, and Pisces energy really values depth. So if someone can't give you the depth that you're looking for, you're just like, oh, I'm not interested. Kind of similar with maybe career opportunities. It's like if you feel like a person or an opportunity isn't going to give you the depth that you're looking for, you're just going to reject it. But in a nice way. I'm not seeing like you being this haughty, up your own hole kind of person. I'm just seeing that you're like, well, why would I waste my time and the person's time if I feel like there's no compatibility or no depth to this situation? But you might actually spend a lot of time on your own in June. But it doesn't feel like it's like lonely. It feels, no, this is how I feel. Like I feel happy to be alone. I'm enjoying alone time. And again, I'm getting incense. Like I'm really smelling incense for you, group two. Maybe you're burning incense right now, but I'm getting very strong incense. With the Four of Pentacles in reverse, I feel like you are becoming a lot more free. For some reason, I'm getting your body language is changing even. That's interesting. So you may not even notice this about yourself, but your body language is changing. The way that you move through spaces changes. Um, with this, like, actually, just because I feel like there's something connected here, it might be that your body language changes and your overall energy changes because you forgive someone. For some of you, maybe you're not even forgiving people because you're having a conversation with them, but because you're just able to forgive. You're able to let go. There's a lot of detachment happening. The thing about Pisces energy, um, when a Pisces energy is evolved or well defined, it knows how to detach from things very well with a lot of compassion and with honor, but also without like needing to obsess over it. So I do feel like you are detaching from something with a lot of gratitude for it and what it has given you, like whether it be a relationship or, you know, I don't know what this could be. This could be anything really, but I feel like for a lot of you, it could be a friendship or a relationship, and you're forgiving. There's just this very forgiving nature to you, um, that is very graceful, gracious, and humble. It's not like I forgive you because I'm just like the bigger person. It's very, yeah, humble, I suppose. The humility is again very strong. So let's pull so your self-development, your spiritual development is in that you, it's like you unlocked a new level of forgiveness. Like maybe you thought you were a very forgiving person before, maybe you didn't, who knows, but if you thought you were a really forgiving person before, you unlock a new way of being forgiving, or like almost like a new version of forgiveness that you didn't even know you had. We've got Taurus. Trust, patience, and sensuality. Taurus energy is very patient, and the Four of Pentacles actually is Taurus energy as well. So it's almost like you detach from some sort of remaining stubbornness that you may have had around whatever the situation here is. It's like you free yourself. You free yourself in some sort of capacity, and you realize like, wow, I thought I was compassionate and forgiving and empathetic before. This is like a whole new level of empathy and compassion for me. And you may even prove to yourself that you're an incredibly patient and gracious person. And the thing is, you will give yourself credit for it, but you're not going to be like conceited about it, or you're not going to look at it and be like, look at how amazing I am. I'm like so forgiving. Like I'm not getting that. You're just going to, and that's the beautiful thing here about June, is that you're going to forgive and move on. And you're just like, okay, I'm detached now. Let's look forward. What's happening next in my life? What am I attracting next in my life? What's the next opportunity that I'm going to go for? Let me just not get hung up on the fact that I forgave this person even though maybe they didn't deserve forgiveness. It's like you're not even looking at it from that perspective. You're just looking at it from the perspective of like, I had to forgive and I'm happy to forgive. And I feel like it's a good thing for me and the person. And now I'm ready to move on. Which is really, and I feel like that's the thing about the world awaits you, here with this morning card. It's like, that's your perception in June. By the end of June, you're kind of like, the world awaits me. You know, I don't have time to dwell on these like things, what happened, what could have happened, should I forgive, should I not forgive? Like, no, I'm just detaching, and you're not going to hold a grudge here. That's what's cool. So that's what I have for you, group 2. I think you're going to have a really amazing June. You're going to learn a lot about yourself, which is really nice. But I'm going to leave it here. If you enjoyed this reading, do like, subscribe, and comment, especially with your feedback. I'd love to hear what you thought of this specific reading. And we're going to move on. So let's move forward. We're going to move on to group number 3. Let's get into your June. What can you expect for your June? Let's look at your general energies first, and then we'll get into the more intricate details. So first, we have Flower. Be honest with yourself. We've got Uranus. We have meditation for peace and serenity, agreement, and we've got the haunted staircase. Don't let what ifs haunt you. Regrets, unsaid words, and missed opportunities. I'm immediately being pulled to the fact that her mouth is closed. You may feel in June like something was left unsaid. I am getting this feeling of like, should I say it? Should I not say it? I feel like it's left unsaid. Um, if you left something unsaid in the past, like that's okay. The thing that I'm picking up on here, there might be something, maybe something happened in May or maybe even in April or maybe even before that, where you left something unsaid. You didn't say something to someone, and you kind of maybe were moving between the energy of like, I definitely should say it. If I don't say it, I'm gonna regret it. And you're moving between the energy of, if I say it, it's gonna rock the boat a lot and it's gonna cause a lot of um dist- disruption, and it's gonna cause a lot of um heartache or something like that. So I feel like a lot of you have decided to keep it unsaid. You decided to not say anything about it and you moved on with your life. But I do feel like in June, it's for some reason it's popping up for you again and it's bothering you again. And your guides are saying you can go back to this person or wherever and say it if you want. It is going to be a little bit risky though. That is one thing that I'm seeing. If you do decide to say whatever it is that was left unsaid, I can't promise you that the outcome is going to be like favorable, like, or the outcome is going to not necessarily favorable, but that the outcome would turn out the way that you want it to turn out. um you can say it, you can definitely say it. I don't think anything completely catastrophic would happen, but with the Uranus energy, it's like it's a little bit of a wild card. That's the feeling that I'm getting. If you do decide to say it, it might be a little bit of a wild card and you may not get the response that you truly want. um or you can decide to not say it. And but if you do decide to just like not say it, you need to commit to not saying it and just moving on and detaching and saying to yourself, okay, I didn't say it, fuck it, like, I'm gonna move on, I'm not gonna think about it anymore. So whatever thing you decide to do it, but please recognize that if you do say it, the outcome may not be what you wanted it to be, or it may be like a bit of a wild card. And if you don't say it, you just need to move forward. You need to move on. You need to make peace with the situation, the fact that you didn't say whatever you wanted to say in that space, and move on with your life. So you will need to intuitively pick up and figure out which one feels like it resonates with you more. So um, in general, I feel like your month of June is a little bit of a I know reality check is not the right word to use, or the right phrase to use. You may feel like June is very unpredictable. It's very hard to predict. It's very hard to predict what happens, how things will go, and you do have to take it day by day. I almost feel like every week of June might have like a completely different energy for you. Um and the thing that you need to do is to agree with yourself and to come to terms with yourself that you are just going to take it day by day. Maybe something did happen for you in April and May, and now it's like, it's it's not to say that your June is going to be bad, because I don't think that's going to be the case, but June is going to be very random. There's an energy of randomness here. It's like I can't predict what's going to happen tomorrow. It's like today felt this way, and all of a sudden, you know, the next day I'm feeling in a completely different energy and I feel completely thrown off. But you're not meant to predict June. Like I almost feel like this reading is redundant for this group, because you're not meant to predict June. June is meant to be quite unpredictable. That's the beauty of June for you. It's almost like the thing that I'm getting is that June being unpredictable is actually serving you very well. Because if it was predictable, your energy would be kind of stagnant and bored, maybe even. And so your guides are kind of saying, like, it's supposed to be unpredictable. It's supposed to be kind of a bit of a roller coaster, but not in a bad way. Like when you get on a roller coaster, you wouldn't want it to be super predictable. You wouldn't want the roller coaster to go in a straight line in a slow paced way. You want those twists and turns because that's the whole fun of that's why you're getting on the roller coaster. And in a way, your soul and your higher self knows that it's stepping onto a roller coaster in June. Like your higher self is aware. Your higher self has made the decision like, yes, this is a roller coaster that I do want to get on. So your guides are saying just buckle up. Buckle up for June, but not in a bad way. Don't get scared. Like, buckle up the way you would for a roller coaster. You're get excited. Get excited for the adrenaline because I am getting some sort of like you may get a good healthy dose of adrenaline in the month of June. Okay, let's look into it. So let's look at your practical energy. Although I don't think we're going to be able to predict it very specifically, but let's look at Five of Swords in reverse. I'm getting risk. Again, risk is Uranus can talk about risk as well. And it's so interesting because we've got peace and serenity, and the feeling that I'm getting is like embracing risk, embracing this wild card energy is actually what's going to bring you peace. Is actually what's going to bring you a peace of mind and this sense of tranquility and serenity. You're not going to achieve serenity by trying to predict every move and every day that comes through in June. The way that you achieve peace, the way that you achieve serenity is by embracing the unpredictability of life. And I feel like June is meant to highlight to you how unpredictable life can be. How no matter how much you plan something, no matter how much you put effort into, outlining what you'd like to happen through the month, through the day, through the year, whatever, there's always going to be a wild card that pops in. There's always going to be intervention from the external. And I feel like that's exactly what June is about for you. There might be some interventions that come through. Again, don't get scared. These interventions are actually meant to be very favorable to your overall expansion, your overall progress. I also feel like your guides are saying try to accept defeat. So there's something about defeat is not always bad. Sometimes defeat can actually bring us to even better circumstances. So there's something about that I'm thinking. Some of you may not get the job that you wanted, or maybe you're not going to get like the practical energy. So you may not get the job that you wanted, or you may not get, maybe you wanted to move to a certain home or something like that, or a certain country, or you wanted to do a certain thing and you don't get to do it. And there's some sort of sense of defeat. And I almost feel like your guides are saying, accept that defeat gracefully and then go, okay, so what am I supposed to receive? Universe, please show me what I'm supposed to receive. If it's not that, if it's not this job that I applied for, if it's not this practical thing that I want to do, then what am I supposed to receive? What am I supposed to achieve here? And I feel like the universe will show you, and it's like the next day you might turn around and get a job that you didn't even apply for. Like, it's so random. The energy is so random. Because with the don't let what ifs haunt you, that's the feeling that I'm getting. It's like, what if I got that job? Like, why didn't I get that job? Like, that's not the right mentality to have in June. You're meant to go, oh, I didn't get this. Okay, fair enough. So what am I supposed to get? Okay, show me. I feel like you should constantly, in your mind, think like, show me what's supposed to happen. Okay, we've got air. Okay, air energy is strong, especially with Uranus being here. Open-mindedness, objectivity, and learning. Yeah, I think your guides want you to be very open-minded about what's supposed to happen in June. Because whatever you think is supposed to happen, whatever you think is supposed to transpire and how your life is supposed to unfold is not going to be that way. Like, basically whatever you're expecting, just throw it out the window. Forget everything you know. Like, that's what I'm hearing. Forget everything you know. And it's like, by embracing this energy of randomness, wild card feelings, because I keep getting I'm getting this feeling of you going like, oh fuck, like, what's going on? I don't understand what's going on. But that's like, there's almost beauty to that. when you don't know what's going on, sometimes really good things can come into your life. We often see it from the perspective of like, oh, if I don't know what's going on and things are moving really quickly and there's a lot of wild cards popping at me, things must be bad. But no, that's not true. That's not true. Sometimes wild cards pop in because they're good wild cards. I do feel like your guides want you to allow yourself to be pleasantly surprised by life. Got the Hanged Man in reverse for the relationship side of things. The Hanged Man in reverse. For those of you that are single, and especially if you've been single for a very long time, you may be getting antsy around not having a relationship. But I have to say, I'm not necessarily getting that there will be one coming your way. But I am getting this feeling of like, okay, I'm getting a bit fed up. When is this person, like, when am I meeting the person that I'm supposed to be with? Your guides are literally like, you need to just surrender to your circumstances in June and really almost have fun with them. Have fun with the fact that you don't know what the fuck is going on. That's the feeling that I'm getting. Venus. You know what? Some of you, the person that you're going to be in a relationship with, if you are single, this person may actually be around you already in some capacity, but you're not noticing them yet because you're so focused on how things are not moving along the way that you want them to or the way that you were predicting them to. I'm also getting that for those of you that are in relationships, there's going to be really great opportunities for you and your partner to have spontaneous time within the relationship. So like maybe go on a spontaneous date. Like the two of you might be out like doing something that you always do, something very routine, maybe you're going to the gym or something like that together, or whatever it is that you do routinely with your partner, and all of a sudden something you pass something like, I don't know, a festival or something like that, or randomly see something like an ad for something really cool, like a cool event. Take those opportunities, because I'm getting those of you that are in relationships, you may come into a place where you and your partner are feeling kind of like bogged down by the mundane in the relationship. And I feel like that's what June is doing. June is throwing in some curveballs for you to spice up your relationship. Like I'm getting spicing up your relationship. I feel like that could be also similar for some of you who have friendships that have become very mundane and routine, and that happens with every single type of a relationship. So for some of you, maybe you and your friend are hanging out doing the same thing that you always do, and all of a sudden you see an ad for something very unusual and you're like, should we do this? Say yes. I feel like your guides want you to say yes to unusual things in the month of June. Just say yes and see where it takes you. And if you don't get something that you wanted, look at it from the perspective of like, oh, okay, maybe that thing that I wanted is not, it was always gonna turn out to be something like an illusion. Or this thing that I really wanted was always gonna turn out to be a thing that I wouldn't want in the end. So great. I didn't get it, so that's good. I think for those of you that are single, you are stepping into the energy of becoming ready for a relationship, but I'm not seeing you necessarily entering a relationship just yet. I feel like a lot of you are getting into this romantic energy of seeing yourself as maybe very attractive to potential partners. Maybe you're raising your confidence in some sort of way. But I'm not getting any relationship just quite yet. But again, it's like I keep getting that idea of like keep an open mind. Things that because I feel like June is going to show you that things that you want are not always necessarily the things that you will want forever. And I feel like your guides want you to look at other examples of that. For some of you, maybe this has to do with a person. Maybe you really want someone and you really want to connect to someone, but they're not, it's very hard to connect with them. It's very hard to create a relationship with them. They seem to be running away from you, or things just don't seem to be gelling. Maybe that's a sign from your guides being like, sometimes the things that you want are not necessarily the things that you will want forever. So maybe look back on the times that you wanted another person and you were chasing after them, and then once you got them, maybe you realized that they weren't that great, or like they didn't fulfill the things that you wanted them to fulfill. And that could really bring you a lot more awareness. Or like a job that you really, really wanted in the past and you were chasing after it, and then once you did get it, you realized, oh, like this is actually not a great job for me, and it doesn't do anything for me, and it doesn't bring me to any place of fulfillment. Like really reflect back on those times where you did get what you wanted, but those things turned out to be mediocre or not fulfilling the way that you wanted them to be fulfilling. But I think there's going to be a lot of opportunity if you look at your June from the perspective of like, okay, I'm going to buckle up and I will allow universe to bring me wherever it needs to bring me. I know it's going to be a wild ride. I know there's going to be wild cards that are going to be thrown at me, but I'm going to enjoy whatever wild cards they are. You're going to have a great month. If you're looking at it from the perspective of fear, that's where you might struggle with June. And one thing is, it's really important not to have any regrets. No regrets in June, please. So let's look at your self-development and spiritual development. Wow, judgment. I mean, judgment card. It's like day of reckoning. I feel like June is kind of like the month of reckoning for you in a way. Like June is going to highlight to you, again, sorry to repeat myself, but like what you want is not always something that you actually want. Sometimes you only want it because it's an illusion. And something that you actually want might be right under your nose and you may not see it the whole way through because you're chasing after something that you think that you want. So I think a lot of illusions are going to get shattered for you in June. You're really going to realize, like, you know, that person that I thought I really wanted and what, you know, they wouldn't accept me, or they wouldn't love me, or they wouldn't give me what I wanted. All of a sudden you're noticing like, oh, they're not that great. They're actually not for me. Oh, all of a sudden I'm realizing they were never for me, and, you know, or whatever. It may be a job or something like that. You're just realizing. June is the month of realizing stuff. But like June is just about breaking the rose colored glasses, but not only that, it's also about seeing that chaos and randomness can sometimes be actually really good for you and can bring you a dose of a bit of a reality check and can bring you a new awareness. Whereas when we can predict every single step, when we can predict every single thing about our month, that's when we make very little progress. Sometimes, not always. Your June is meant to be unpredictable, so embrace it. We've got fixed. Stability, persistence, loyalty, and dependability. The thing is, even though this month is going to be unpredictable, even though this month will throw a couple of curveballs your way, it's still going to be stable. You're stable, you're safe, you're secure. There will be things that you can depend on. The rug is not being pulled from underneath you in that kind of way where your foundation is being ripped from underneath you or something is getting crushed or destroyed. That's not the energy here. It's more like, you know, there's no tower energy here or anything like that. It's more like things are happening in very random sequence, and maybe you expect something to happen, you know, tomorrow, but it doesn't happen, and in its place something very random happens, and this random thing that happens just completely stumps you, but it's not necessarily a bad thing. So like, what's the example that I can, maybe let's say you have a day planned with your friends to go on a day trip, But all of a sudden, when you are in the car with your friends, you know, the car breaks down or something like that. And so you have to pull in or something like that. And you have to spend the day in a different village than the one that you were going to. Or maybe you need to go and stay in a different place. But this other place that you were not expecting to go to maybe has like this festival that's happening. And all of a sudden you're having an amazing time at this festival. It's like embracing the unfortunes and where these unfortunes can take you. But I'm not necessarily getting that, you know, you'll lose your job, or, you know, you'll leave your job and something, you know, completely foundational is going to break down. I'm not getting that for June. It's more about embracing the randomness of, you know, okay, my car is broken down, but like maybe this is leading me to a fun experience. Or, you know, I don't know, my phone's not working. I don't know. It's like those little kind of mishaps. Oh, do you know what? That makes sense because we've got Mercury retrograde happening right now. Maybe you're already feeling this energy. Maybe it's Mercury retrograde, and I think it's happening until like what, the 3rd or the 4th of June, and then we'll have a shadow period for that as well. So for some of you, maybe you're just really feeling the Mercury retrograde, but it's almost like you're meant to embrace it. You're meant to embrace the chaos of it. And I think after June, you're going to be in a state of, you know what, randomness and chaos is not always bad. I do feel like June is going to teach you that chaos and randomness and not being able to predict things can sometimes be really fun and really enjoyable and bring really cool results into your life. So that's what I have for you, group number 3. I hope this reading resonated with you. If you liked it, do like, subscribe, and comment, especially with your feedback. Let me know what you thought. But I'm going to move forward. Okay, so we're going to move on to group number 4. So group number 4, let's see, how is your June going to go? Let's get into the overall energies. So we've got Throne. Your potential is endless. 5th house, creativity. Follow your dreams. Okay, this is like really powerful energy. Okay, we've also got happiness. This is cool. Wow, look at that. I think you're gonna have, let's see, affection. Oh, that makes sense. Affection makes sense with the 5th house because it can talk about romance. This feels like a magical month for group 4. Like you may literally feel magical. And we've got ego trap. Check yourself. Ego, judgmental thinking, superiority complex. I think, okay. So the feeling that I'm getting is that you're about to have, I mean, I don't want to like build it up too much, but I think you're going to have an amazing month. But the only thing is don't get trapped in some sort of superiority complex. I think a lot of things are about to go right for you in June. A lot of things are about to go right for you. A lot of things are about to work out for you. But your guides are kind of saying like, stay humble. And not that you wouldn't, but stay humble, but also don't get into a place where you think that you're not, like, you're invincible and that you still don't have, like, you don't have a shadow side, or you don't have an ego that could, like, I don't want to scare you because this is not a scary thing. This is going to be an amazing month. But I do feel like you're going to be in a very, like, I feel like some of you could actually achieve like higher power in some sort of way. So like you could get promoted and like get a job that puts you into a really high status. You could become a lot more prolific than you used to be. And I'm kind of getting like, remember where you came from, because in a month, like between now and the end of June, you could be living in a very different energy than the energy you're in right now. And you have manifested this. Like you've worked on bringing this into your reality. And well done. Well done. But stay grounded. That's also, because you may kind of there's almost a risk of floating away with all this happiness and all this excitement. I'm getting you being out at a lot of events, because even with the throne energy here, it's kind of like the three of them are sitting. I'm almost imagining a party happening in front of them. And then we've got the fifth house, which is a really celebratory kind of energy. We've got happiness. There's just this feeling of like you could be out a lot. You could be spending a lot of time outside of your home, at a lot of events, seeing a lot of people, being noticed by a lot of people. I'm getting, you know what? This must be collective energy, because other groups, other than one, also got a lot of like compliments and, being noticed to different degrees and in different ways. But I feel like with you, it's more like you're socially well thought of, or you're seen in some high regard. Like you might actually, your status feels like it's increasing in June in some sort of way. It's not just about being visible or being very attractive or being very beautiful or whatever. It's about your status actually increasing, like at a place of work or in your social circles in general. This is obviously not going to be for all of you, but some of you might come into like a lot more money than you're used to, either through like winning money or inheriting money. And it's like, it's important to, like, again, I keep hearing, remember where you came from, but not in a bad way. Not that your guides are like, you shouldn't enjoy all these beautiful things that are coming your way. It's just like, when your ego starts acting up a little bit, just notice that within yourself. Because one thing that I'm getting, you may run into people that almost act like you don't deserve the status that you have all of a sudden, or that you don't deserve the blessings that are coming your way, or that you didn't work hard enough for these blessings. But the thing is, they don't know. And I feel like that's where your ego could be feeling bruised and hurt, because your ego is going to be like, we worked really fucking hard for this. Fuck you. I'm going to destroy you, like that kind of way. And your guides are saying like, be healthy with the way that you respond to people that question whether you deserve the success that you've gotten or not. Have enough detachment, or practice enough detachment, that you can go, okay, well, you think I don't deserve it. Okay, that's cool. You think I don't deserve it? You think I don't deserve it? What can I do about it? I'm not going to change your mind. So practical. We've got money here. We do have the Six of Pentacles in reverse. One thing that I'm also getting is, be careful with your... I do feel like you're going to have extra money. This feels like more money than what you're used to in June. And one thing that I'm getting also, avoid overspending from a point of view of like, if I spend loads of money on people, if I put a lot of finances and funds towards certain people, then I'll get them to like me. Then I'll get them to respect me. Be very careful around that. Because no. So it may be that you have enough money to splash out on, like, if you want to gift certain people things, if you want to pay for people, if you want to be generous with certain people, make sure that they deserve it, and make sure that you're not doing it for the reason of, oh, if I pay for this person or give this person money or give this person an expensive gift, then they'll respect me, or then they'll see that I'm a good person. That's something that your guides want you to kind of watch out for. Maybe you've had that in the past. Maybe you've had issues with being generous with the wrong people in the past, and that's something that your guides want you to be careful. Like, be generous with the people that actually do deserve it, rather than the people that you want to impress, or the people that you want to like you or accept you. If they're not accepting you, then they're not accepting you. If they think you don't deserve your success or your money, you don't need to use your money to show them that they should accept you for that. Or, like, that's the feeling that I'm getting. We've got air, open-mindedness, objectivity, and learning. Another thing that I'm getting is that this month is going to be really important in terms of learning money management. Again, it's like I feel like you're coming into some sort of extra money, more money than you're used to. Again, some of you could get a promotion, get a raise or something like that. Maybe more clients than you're used to. But the feeling is like Definitely watch out for overspending. Watch out for overspending. Spend spend what you need to spend in terms of making yourself feel good, making yourself feel like you're rewarding yourself for the hard work that you've done to bring you to this point. But avoid, like, you'll know intuitively, your intuition will hit you with, should we really be paying for this person's drinks? Should we really be buying this person a gift? They don't treat us very nice. Like, that's the feeling that I'm getting. Should we really be, like, that's the feeling that you could be noticing that feeling within yourself, and your guides really want you to pay attention to that. Be very objective. Like, am I making this purchase for this person because I genuinely care and like them, and they're an important person in my life, and they're kind, and they're genuine? Or am I trying to impress them? Am I trying to win them over with my money or with my generosity in general, even if it's generosity through effort? You don't have to prove anything to anyone. And the people that already accept you are the best people to spend your money on and spend your effort, or you are the best people to utilize your efforts towards. So now we're looking at relationships, emotional state. So yeah, I do feel like for some of you, you might even have to end certain relationships. Be- I'm not gonna lie, group 4, I think you're gonna have an amazing month in June, but there will be people who will probably be jealous of your success, or jealous. And again, I don't want to, like, I don't really like delivering this message, because I hate being like, everyone's jealous and everyone's a hater. Like, it's not, and definitely not everyone, but there might be people who resent your success and the fact that you're moving up in the world the way that you are. And there may be a need for some difficult interaction with these people, where you either go through a transformation within this relationship, or you end the relationship altogether. Whatever is coming in for you, group number 4, it feels like something that automatically is going to change a lot of dynamics, relationship dynamics in your life. It's almost like you can't prevent this transformation. You can't prevent it. Whether it's extra money, or whether it's a career that is more fulfilling to you, whether it's a higher ranking and status in society in some sort of way, naturally it's just going to make you, all of your relationships transform. You can't avoid it. It's a transformation. It's kind of like death. Death is inevitable, so everything dies. It's very cheery and positive, isn't it? But everything dies. Death comes for all of us. Life is pointless. No, that's not what I mean. But what I'm saying is that death is a natural part of life, and if you're not dying at some point, then you're not living. So there's going to be a death within every single relationship that you have, because of this big upscaling that's happening to you. But it's not all bad. Like, with some people, this is actually going to be a transformation for the better. For some of you, this is just going to be a transformation where the relationship is not going to become better or worse. It's just going to be very different. And for some of you, it could literally be an ending of a relationship because of this difference in your energy. You can't prevent this transformation and rebirth of, it's like a death and rebirth within every single connection that you have. This is very interesting. Something very, I would be surprised if a lot of people pick this group, because it feels so significant. It doesn't feel like something small. It feels like, your whole life changes in some sort of way. And it's not necessarily the most comfortable, but you're going to be really happy about it. I think this transformation, this change is going to allow you to be more creative, more expressive, more confident in yourself. But it's like everything like that comes not with a cost. I don't want to say that. That sounds very dramatic. It's like it comes with its own changes and its own adjustments. First house, individuality, self image, and approach to life. Focus on yourself rather than other people in the month of June when it comes to relationships. Whether you're in a relationship, whether you're dating, whether you're, you have some sort of problems popping up with friends or family or whatever, try and focus on your attitude, yourself, how you are approaching this situation rather than what the other person is saying or doing. And the more you can do that, the easier this transition will be. Kind of checking in with yourself. Well, what am I doing in this connection? How am I responding to this person? How am I interacting with this person? What am I doing right and what am I doing wrong? Rather than what did they say and what did they, what are they thinking about me and how are they perceiving me? You can really benefit from just focusing on you and making sure that you're staying true to yourself, whether it be with these people, but also whether it be with yourself. Like sometimes we betray ourselves in being individuals. Sometimes because we're trying to pander to other people and making sure that other people are not mad at us and making sure that other people are not sour with us, we can betray ourselves. And I think a big point here in June is that you must not betray yourself. Of course, keep your ego in check and make sure that you're not becoming like too prideful or pride, like make sure pride is in check in June. But I think you do your best to do that. I think it's just that I feel very intense success in June. And so, but also I'm feeling pride because your pride might be hurt because someone acts like you don't deserve the opportunities that are coming your way. Let them. Don't become proud and like don't react out of pride in that scenario. Okay, let's look into your spiritual and self-development. Four of Pentacles. I want to clarify this one. Eight of Swords in reverse. One thing that I'm seeing is that you are going to be put into a place where you are going to have to acknowledge how do I grudge keeping is coming through, and I feel like you're gonna have to work through some grudges, or maybe even like if someone says something, or even if it's behind your back about how you don't deserve whatever this like really good stuff that's coming in for you, it's like you're gonna have to work really hard not to create this like grudge that you're keeping against this person, because on the grander scheme of things it doesn't matter because you're enjoying so much success. It's almost like don't allow this experience to become sour, because this experience is meant to be incredibly magical for you. And other people's ego and other people's ego and how their ego makes them act out is like none of your business, really. That's the feeling that I'm getting. Your guides are like, look at it from the perspective of like, oh, that person is like jealous of me, or that person is walking around town saying how I don't deserve the success that's coming my way. Well, that's their issue. That's not my issue. And to be fair, here's what I'm getting. When you talk to someone, right, and someone starts talking about, let's say you meet someone, you're walking down the street and you meet someone that you went to school with, and you go, oh, hey, how are you? And they go, oh yeah, I'm good, how are you? And you're telling them about what's going on with you, and they're telling you what's going on with them, and then they start going, oh my god, do you remember Ben from school? And you'd be like, oh yeah, I remember Ben. And this person starts going like, oh, Ben, yeah, he's so successful now and he's making loads of money and he's like, oh, he's very well known, but like, oh, he's like, he really doesn't deserve it. I don't even know how he got this successful. Like, you know, and they go on this spiel about how this person doesn't deserve all the success that they have come into. And what you'd be thinking in that scenario is like, you're kind of a loser. Like, why are you so obsessed with this person's success? Why are you so obsessed with this person getting, you know, success, and you want to talk about how they don't deserve it? Like, you know yourself that you would kind of go, okay, like, why are you so obsessed with this person? So why is it that if someone else is doing that about you, you see it as something against you? See it as almost like that person is actually making themselves look foolish. And don't get dragged into this ego battle. Don't get dragged into it. It's your opportunity to stay out of it. And trust me, the people that talk shit on whatever it is that you're achieving here, the other people that have to listen to them will know that the person talking shit about you is the one that is in their ego and is in their pride and is in their, you know, butthurt energy, basically. So I feel like your self-development and your spiritual development really relies on you not being dragged down to someone's level. Because I'm getting ego trapped. The whole idea of it being a trap is like, don't get trapped into someone trying to bring you down to their level of bitchiness, or, you know, what's the word, like butthurt energy. Like, don't allow someone else being butthurt about you and your success and you doing well bring you down into that butthurt energy and potentially even miss out on further success, because that's what happens when we don't bask in the great success that we're achieving and we focus on the people that are like talking shit or someone who is undermining our success. We are undermining our success in the same breath. So just watch out for that. And not even watch out for it like as in, oh, be careful. It's more so like, watch out for that in yourself, your own, because it's kind of like a lot of the time we think someone is sabotaging us, but in reality, they are just meant to trigger us and they're meant to show us something. And the person sabotaging ourselves is ourselves. And trust me, I've done that before where I thought someone was sabotaging me, but in reality, they were just triggering me and it was meant to show me something. And in turn, I ended up sabotaging myself. So it's like, congratulations, you've played yourself. So we've got the third house. Gossip can come down under the third house. I do feel like if you are hearing people gossip about your success and how you're doing really well and how you don't deserve all this like wealth of abundance that's coming your way, just fucking ignore it. Just let it go. Let it fly. Because honestly, you're going to have an amazing June. And especially don't be trying to overextend yourself to prove yourself to someone or spend loads of money on someone in order to make them feel like, no, see, I do deserve this success. Look, I'm sharing it with you. Like, share it with the people that actually appreciate it, and share it with people who are not going to go talk shit about you. Share it with people who are actually going to give you real thanks and real appreciation for what you can do for them with that money, that effort, that service that you, I do feel like you are gonna have, you're gonna have this want to pay it forward. Whatever this success is, it's like, I am getting this energy of like, I want to pay it forward. Well, pay it forward with the people that actually deserve it. Make sure that you pay attention to that. So that's what I have for you, group number 4. Really cool reading. I really would love to hear feedback on what this is. I'm really not anticipating a lot of people picking this group because this does feel like kind of like very rare, something very rare that happens. And I feel like I don't know, I feel like you're striking some sort of jackpot, spiritual jackpot or whatever it is in the month of June. So I'm really excited to see what that's going to be. So that's where I'm going to leave it. If you like this reading, do like, subscribe, and comment. Thank you for hanging out with me, and I'll see you in my next video. Bye!